Hi. Today is January 16th. I think. Pretty sure it's January 16th. You know, when you're home, you work at home, kind of lose count of the days sometimes. But I know that it's a high watch time for us. But I just have to clear one thing up at the beginning of this video. The other day when I did some videos and I said that I had watched a few videos by Renee Moses. Now, I said that because I did watch them, and it's not that I follow anybody, and like I said, I hadn't watched her videos in a very, very long time. I couldn't tell you what she said before or anything. I don't really know what's going on with her or any of that. I just know that somebody had sent me a few of those videos. Arlo, please. And I watched them, and what I said, my words were in the other videos, is I understood how she came up with the timing and the dates as she did. I understand how she saw the merging of the calendars, the Jewish calendar and the Gentile calendar, you know, the Gregorian calendar, what we go by. I could see how she was merging those from the two different New Years, you know. Totally, I was with her on that. I understand that. I understand how she got that. That's what I was pointing out to. You know, I haven't watched, I don't know enough about her to give an opinion one way or another. But all I was saying was, I watched him. I understood how she got those time periods. I understood her puzzle pieces, okay? That's what I was saying. So, I don't know if some of you have watched her and don't watch her anymore. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about her. I'm just saying I just understood that part of what she was saying, you know. And I understood how she was talking about puzzle pieces and how he tells you something, and you know, we understand it to be one, you know, a certain thing or a certain way because that's the way it sounds when it's written or when it's heard. You know, it sounds like he's saying this. But when in actuality, he's not saying this. It's just, you know, he might lead you to a date. Again, they're markers. Those dates are markers. We didn't know that then. We know it now. They're heavenly markers. Because, you know, heaven doesn't go by hours and dates and times like we do. It's events, okay? It's certain days to us, but it's events to them, and they're markers. So that's why we don't understand that. We won't get that until, you know, we have that Holy of Holy Spirit, and then we know the secrets of heaven. But that's what the difference is. But whether some of you follow her or don't anymore, that, you know, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about her. I'm just saying this is what I understand. And I got sent a video by Nine Narnia, Narnia 9 Narnia. You probably know, I don't, but same thing. I don't know. I saw one today, this morning. Same formula. Same formula, same date, watch time, same merging of the calendars. She was getting the same exact thing. So, I don't know. I don't know much about her either. So, but I do know that I watched that. Understand exactly how she was getting that, how she came up with that. It was that Narnia 9 or 9 Narnia. I think I might be saying it right, but anyway, that's just all I got to say about that. But no, I don't follow any of them, and I don't know anything that's going on with any of them. It's just videos I watched, and I'm just giving a comment about them. You know, I'm just telling you what I know and what I saw and what I think. That's all I'm doing. But do you know that so many people have emailed me about feeling a message that went out by Julie, and the message, you know, was very strong. It was about, you know, drinking his blood from his cup, drinking from his cup, and what he requires. And everybody was in a panic, you know. And you have to understand too that when the Lord gives his children messages, a lot of it, you know, in there might have to do with them personally too, and where they're walk, because we're all not at the same place in our walks. You know, we're not. I mean, some people have given up everything. And Julie, really, her and her family have sacrificed a lot and given up a lot to physically get up and move where the Lord wanted them to move, and do what he wanted. I mean, they just completely went on blind faith on that. I mean, wow. So pray for her. I mean, she's just really a strong woman of God, and she's going to be so blessed. But a lot of those have to do with what that person prayed upon, and is asking the Lord to give them and to place upon them. So you have to understand that too. And then the message comes out, and it'll be across the board for everybody. But you have to understand this before you hear messages and start to panic. Okay, you immediately, that fear comes in and that doubt comes in. It's like, oh, I'm not good enough. Okay, listen. I've said this over and over and over and over. There's no great surprise to him what he's coming to get. He knows you, okay? He knows all your faults. He knows all your strong points. He knows where you're at in your walk. He knows what he has to feed you, what he has to strengthen you in. He knows all this. It is not some surprise. It's not like he's going to come here and then all of a sudden be shocked at what he sees. Okay? He knows all. He knows your hearts. He knows everything about you. So don't panic, okay? Not everybody is where somebody else is. We're all over the place, and that's okay. That's okay. That doesn't lessen, okay, any of your knowledge of him. It doesn't take anything away from you or where you stand in him. It truly doesn't. We'll continue to learn. We will continue to learn when we go to heaven. We will continue. Can you imagine being taught by King David? Can you imagine being taught by Moses? Can you imagine being taught by Abraham? I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. We're going to continue when we get there. We will continue in our teaching. Okay? So, that's why I say, learn and stand strong in where you're at, up to that point of where you're at. And don't worry that you can't scoop everything in at once. Or you think you only have a short time to learn all of this stuff. Well, it's not attainable. I mean, if he comes, when we hope he's going to come. But again, and if you try to learn it so quick, how much of it is really good fruit? How much you're going to retain? How do you know it then? You don't. So it's a steps. It's a process. It's a relationship. Remember I said it's a relationship. And the longer, that's how you fall in love, And a lot of people, I did that one video about the Holy Spirit, how people, when they turn to the Lord and give their life to them and become saved, that sometimes they think that they don't have it because they don't feel it. They don't feel what that person has. That person's over there just kumbaya and going just everything, and you're sitting there faking it, because you think you're feeling bad because you think you should have that, and you don't understanding why you don't. And so then you're thinking it didn't take. Mine didn't take. I need a redo. My Holy Spirit it didn't download right. I need to uninstall it and restall it again, like you do a computer program. But it doesn't work like that. But that's what happens. And you think, well, I should be different right now. I mean, I don't feel it. I don't feel nothing. I don't feel different. But you will. You will. And some, bam, must happen like that. Not anybody I know. I really don't know anybody that the moment they were saved, bam, they just had that fire in them and they had that download and boom. I don't know anybody like that. I'm sure there are. I'm not saying there's not, please. Oh, I'm sure that there are. It just didn't happen to me. It just didn't happen to people I know, but not saying it doesn't happen. Not saying that at all. It's a relationship. Remember I said, the more time you spend, it's a relationship with someone. The more time you spend with them, the more you get to know them, the more you get to like them, the more, that's how you fall in love with them, the more you learn about them, the more time, and then the time that you're away from them, you're thinking about them all the time. And, you're yearning for that time to be with them. Then you can't wait till the next time you're with them. And you can't wait to just absorb yourself with them. It's just like relationship. That's just how it is with Jesus. So if you don't have it overnight, it's understandable. And it's probably normal. Okay. So I remember, I'm telling you, I sat there and was like, I didn't get mine. Mine didn't take. Hello, raising my hand, pastor, mine didn't take. I didn't, I remember the day I was baptized, I was water baptized. It was so funny because I had to crack a joke. I had to. So we go down that big old tub thing, and I get out. I remember going back and getting my clothes on, and the church lights were down, and I was in the back, and I said to him, I go, well, look at this. I go, not even been saved 5 minutes, and already I look like Tammy Faye, because I had all this mascara drooped under my eyes. I go, look at this. I'm already Tammy Faye Bakker. 5 minutes, Tammy Faye Bakker. It was black under my eyes. Anyway, just, I'm easily amused. But even it was a process. I will tell you that. It was a process. I thought I was supposed to have it right away. I thought I was just supposed to be marching down the mile. I thought I would just like supernaturally know all of these songs everybody was singing, and I didn't. I didn't. So don't worry. It's your want that makes you want to be closer to him. Okay? When you're baptized, when you're water baptized, and when you're saved, it makes you want every day to go farther in your relationship with him. It makes you want to know about him, everything and anything. And each day, how can you know somebody in a day? I mean, it's very, very hard. You might see somebody that just is, is just the most wonderful person, and they just have all these wonderful qualities, and they're just loving and nice, and you love being around them, and you want to get to know them, and that's where you want to be. Okay, that's how you want to be with Jesus. You want to be around Jesus. Okay, but you can't have no sleep 24/7 thinking that's gonna do it. It's a process, but it's your time that you have. Instead of watching whatever reality show you're watching, you're reading, you're watching him, everything him, because you're getting to know him. And it's just spending time, and that's how, because he supernaturally through his Holy Spirit, which is now in you, he downloads, he gives you that. You don't realize it at the time. I will tell you, you don't realize it, but it might be later on. You go, oh, there it was. He was there. He gave that to me. That was him. It's that kind of process. But he's there. Don't ever think he's not there. But he knows that. He knows this. So he knows where you're at in your walk. Okay? He knows. He can see you searching for him, and that's what you're doing. He can see you searching for him. He can see you longing for him, wanting more and more and more. But he also knows we are human, and how much we retain in a day. Then tomorrow's the next day, and let's get a little bit more. The next day, let's get a little bit more. Next day, let's get a bit more. It's just like a relationship when you get to know somebody. Okay? You get your firm footing, right? Get your firm footing. Then every day, you can walk with him. You walk in that relationship. And, he just speaks words of love to you. Words of encouragement to you. Words that just strengthen that love that you have, that you're gaining in him, and for him. He knows this. He gives you what you need. He will do this. So don't think, please, this is the thing that so many people, they just beat themselves up, beat themselves up. People think they're by themselves. They think they're alone and stuff. How many times have I said, you're not the exception, you're the rule. You really are. You just don't know it. Just don't know it. But we are. we all go through this process. Don't get defeated. Don't get defeated at all. And you know what? Sometimes there's a learning curve there. Sometimes people, just don't retain or soak in stuff as fast or as much as someone else. Don't you think he knows that? Of course he does. He's going to teach you in the way you understand. Okay? He's going to teach you in the way you understand. Some people have to learn differently. Some people can read the same page 10 times and still not understand it. Doesn't mean they're stupid. Doesn't mean any of that. They're highly intelligent. It's nothing about that. It's just not the way they can learn. Don't you think he knows that? So he teaches you in other ways. He teaches you through experiences. He teaches you through other people that he's placed in your life. Okay? You may learn from watching different shows on television. You may learn from watching somebody here on videos. But do not think that you're not learning, because you are. He teaches. Maybe you've prayed for, Lord, show me. I'm just not getting it. I'm not getting it. I need somebody to explain it, something. That's what he does. Do not discount yourself, okay, to a lower level in his heart, because that's what you do. And you think that you don't stand where everybody else stands, or you're not as loved as everybody else is loved, or you're not as good as anybody else is loved, or you don't love Jesus as much as everybody does, because if you did, you would be there too. If I really loved him like she does or like he does, then I would have what they have. No, it doesn't work like that. Let me tell you what, nobody can discredit your love for your Lord. No one can. Just because you're not at that place where you think you need to be or he wants you to be. We all learn differently, okay? We all do. Some people can read that Bible like that and get everything going. I couldn't, I couldn't. I had many different ways of learning. He knew what to use with me that would stick. He knew that, okay? He knew it. He did. So I see all that now. And you have to open your eyes and see that too. You have to see that too. There were certain shows, like on certain, Christian channels that I would watch that would give great, teachings. And I already told you my foundation beliefs and where I start from. And that's, again, you have to know your foundation beliefs and where you start from. Okay, so the teachings that I understood, that held in me, that I grew from. Okay, first of all, I always had my same foundation beliefs. Okay, they believed as I did, but he would always somehow place on their program a teaching that I needed for that exact time, or something I was praying about, or a piece of the word that I was studying, trying to understand, and I maybe was having a hard time, bam, that day, that's exactly what they talked about. And he had somebody that would explain it, and I was like, oh, I understand that. Of course I understand that. I just wasn't reading it as that way. But then when it was explained, then totally got it. Then when I read it, totally understood it. Okay? Some people are visual. They learn visually. Okay? Some people learn on the job. Okay? Some people, it's kind of like college versus your college on-the-job training. Okay? I was the baby of 9. My dad was old school all the way. You didn't get anything if you couldn't afford it. You didn't go out and get credit cards. You don't go get loans. You pay cash for it. Well, he works for the railroad, hardworking man. I only remember my dad ever missing work like 3 days in my whole entire life. That's how dedicated he was. He had to be so tired. He had to be so tired. Now I know why he had those highballs on Sunday. He used to call them, give me a highball, But he he told me, you can't go to college. I can't afford for you to go to college. Of course, I minded my parents, you know. Little did I know I could have gotten, oh, I could have gotten all kinds of grants. I could have gotten scholarships, you know. We just didn't know about it. I mean, they just never went out there to look for them, you know, but they didn't. So he just said, you can't go to college. I can't afford it. That's the way it is. So every job, when I started working at 15, but then by 18, my next job, every job I've ever had, I learned everything. I learned every department. I learned everybody's job. And before, when I was 20, I ran the whole department. I will tell you that. Ran the whole department by the time I was 20. So I will say, through my life, I've had some phenomenal jobs, paid very, very well. But I had to. It was my college, my employment, my jobs were my college, and I knew that from the very beginning. So I knew whatever I learned had to stick. So I mean, I learned a variety of things. That was my college. That's how I learned. So I started learning when I ran after the heart of God. I mean, I had read the Bible. We all had. But I mean, when you really start searching for Him, you know, when you change, when you know you're going after the heart of God, and this is your life, and you know it. You like I said, 9 years ago, that's when I made that decision. Boom, I'm in this to stay. All right. When that time comes, and now you want to know those words. You just don't want to read them. You want to read them. You don't want to just mimic them. You want to know them because you want to know Him. Okay, well, sometimes your heart's there. Your heart's all about it. I'm going to dig in. I've got this. You go to the bookstore and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to get that too, and I'm going to get that too. I've spent so much money on books, I can't even tell you. I'm going to get that too. I'm going to get that too. I'm going to get that too. Okay, you know, first of all, you always got to pray. You always pray for divine understanding, divine everything. Everything divine. That's what you have to pray for. You always pray that my eyes and my ears see and hear what He wants me to see and hear and learn. You know? So, when I went to the Bible to study and read, I knew what I was reading. I could retain it. You know, I had a part visual, right? I had to have a part visual. And then, so here's the book, and here's the other things that I had to use. And I did. And lots of research. I will tell you, I would search and I would research, and I would, if I had to watch the movies, I'd watch the movies. If I had to read, other books on it, I would, because it gave me a stronger understanding of His Word. You know, I can't explain it. It strengthened it. I understood it. So then, when I read His Word, I totally got it. I wasn't reading the same thing, page for 10 times and still not understanding it. I'm a very smart person too, but sometimes we have a block right there. So now it's just amazing how you read it and you totally completely understand it. You do. Well, none of us will ever know, hardly near what we think we know now is nothing. Okay, nothing. And we're just babes in the woods. That's what we are, babes in the woods. But we will be taught the real deal by the real deal. Okay? I just can't imagine being taught by all the ancients of old. Because that's what I call them. Yeah, I just can't imagine. Can't imagine. You know, that's who the kids are taught. All the children up there, that's who they're taught by. That's who they're taught by. Those little kids, those little babies are going to know more than we do. See, how blessed are they? How blessed are those that go before us? How blessed are those? How blessed are they? You have to be so happy for them, really, for their place. They're so much better off than we are. You know, that doesn't mean, we take our lives or nothing, but, we mourn them terribly. We do. But boy, I don't anymore. I surely don't. How blessed. What a blessing. What a blessing. How blessed are they? Can't imagine. But so listen. Don't defeat your worth. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We all learn differently. All do. And the Holy Spirit inside of you sometimes just takes a little time for him to get settled down there, to get comfortable, to know his home. You know, remember, and if you've got stuff in your heart where he can't settle peacefully, where your teaching can start, and you know it can be full, there's work still to do. So that's why I always say cleanse all that. That's where he lives. You have to have a clean home for him. He has to have room to move. Okay, he does. And if there's all that yucca down there, he can't even see the light. He can't see you. He can't hear you from all the crap that's wallowing down there, you know. So cleanse your heart. Get it all out. So he's got clear speaking, clear everything. You know, he's right there. That's what you got to do. That's why it's important. You got to cleanse that out. But don't, if you're going to listen to messages, you're going to hear words, you got to stand strong in your own self. Don't defeat yourself. Because what good is listening to those messages if they don't make you feel good? I'm not saying the Joel Osteen feel good kind of thing. You know, the fire and brimstone is coming. It's coming. But if you have been faithful every day, and you're walking toward him every day, and you know that, he knows that, okay? But because you think you need to be at a certain level because that's just what you think, because you see other people and you just assume that that's where they're at or whatever, and you think you're not good enough or you're not going to go because you're not there. No, don't think that. Don't think that. Okay? You're right where you should be. Okay? Look at this. Where were you a year ago? Okay? Where were you a year ago? Where were you 6 months ago? And look where you are today. You don't think he's pleased about that? Oh, please this punch. Please this punch, because you're moving forward. You keep moving to him. You keep learning. You keep growing. All eyes are on him. That's what he wants. He knows our weakness. There's no big surprise when he comes for you. When he comes for me. When he comes for me, he knows exactly what he's getting. He knows me. He's watched me. Okay? He knows my faults. He knows my strengths. He knows what I have weakness in. He knows where I'm at. So he's going to come and say, well, Mary Beth, now, why aren't you over here when you should be here? Come on, gosh darn it. I really thought that you'd be blah, 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 blah. And God darn, I'm so disappointed that you're not there. You really... No, he knows where I'm at. He knows before I do it. So he knows where I'm standing. He knows where I lack. He knows where I have growth in. He knows my strongness. You know, he knows my weakness. He already knows it. No surprise. He knows what he's coming to get. He knows you. Okay? So, I don't know. He's got his eye on you. He's got his eye on us. He knows everything. You know? And whether you don't think it's enough, you know, what you learn every day, or, you know, you're not taking the 2 steps backward, are you? You're still taking steps forward. And that's what's important. That's what's important. You're taking those steps forward. You're looking for him every day. You're searching for him every day. You just want to be closer to him every day. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. Anyway, I hope this helps. Okay? I love you, and I will see you soon.